All right. Welcome, everybody, to the NWO show, your source for everything New World. Today is going to be a little bit of a different show again. We're kind of just going to chill and chat with people. We've got a couple of topics kind of in mind, but at the same time, with the massive amount of hype that is currently building around the game, we wanted to kind of be the source for people in chat to just kind of ask questions. So, with no further ado, let's do this. We're also joined by our moderation staff on stream here, with Crown Baker and Jamie Swift. So, Jamie is also our #1 subscriber in terms of. I think you've been subscribed since the first couple, like the first episode, or the first episode you could possibly subscribe.
Yeah, I kind of made it a point to, jump on that train early. Because let's be real. I'm the moderator. I'm the longest running subscriber. I'm also the #3 here. Like, me, you, and McLeod been around for a little while.
I take offense to that.
So Crown here holds the record for winning our package. Well, that came out wrong. Crownbreaker takes the record for winning the extra streamer package that we were gifted by Amazon Games during the beta, or during the preview week. Sorry, I keep saying beta. First question was, and I don't know why it deleted everything. Big Bear, I don't understand why my bot does what it does. It's been trained by the NYPD, and frankly, it needs a refresher course in restraint.
It kind of doesn't like cuss words, but like
Yeah.
if it strikes through all of your stuff, don't worry. Like it's only the post that like it had particular offense to that it strikes, that it like removes.
Mhm.
Like everything else is like everything else will be on the VOD, for example. Right, just so you know. But yes, it was trained by by NYPD.
Yeah. So, couple of the thing I know I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did just ping the server. You guys know me. I do it all the time.
This one does.
So, here's the thing. We know, what we know today is that they announced on Twitter that they are adding in a. I gotta fix. Oop, it's not the right button. There we go. Sorry. So we saw on Twitter today that they are announcing a streamer battle. They're kind of shaping it up to what looks like 10 streamers, 10 big name streamers, in terms of very large audiences, that I believe are all going to be on the same server, from each faction. So they announced 10 today from Syndicate, including Smashly and a few others. I think Smashly's live right now, so props to them. I know exactly. It takes little to no effort to figure out what they're doing at this point. Where they're probably going to put in 10 on each one, just because. Why not? 10 on each, and then see how it goes for the beta, where each of those streamers are going to be kind of using their communities to attack each other, and the general insanity will ensue. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time to watch that. They are, I believe, all going to be on the same server. So if you're trying to avoid large streamers, avoid their server like the plague. Because everyone and their mother is going to be trying to get on there to pseudo mess with the streamers and or defend the streamers, or etc. Thought I saw 2 lists of 10 for the Syndicate. I thought it was just the 1 list of 10. Now I gotta go to Twitter. Actually, I have their Twitter in the Discord. Those that don't know, we run a Discord. Our Discord is filled with a whole bunch of automated stuff. So we have every tweet and picture that they have ever tweeted and pictured for the last 2 years since this has been up. Humana. Or was it Smashly that released that? So, for those that are wondering what I'm talking about, this is what I was talking about. Battle for New World fundamentally is going to be this, as far as I can tell. I don't think there's a second picture involved. But these 10, I was in Smashly's stream earlier, and she pseudo confirmed that that was going to be the case, where it's streamer versus streamer wars. I think Greg mentioned it as well. So, but yeah, so that's one of the big things that obviously they're building to. Obviously, these are all like pretty big names when it comes to, or pretty big, in terms of streaming. Like, I don't think I've seen like Ninja or Shroud. But that said, we've still got 2 groups left, so there's another 20 names. I think Smashly said on stream earlier that she had to like preface things with an ad, in that not for the stream that she's doing today, but for the streams, some of the streams that she'll be doing over the course of the beta, that they are paying some of these high-end streamers to be there. Which, hey, cool. For those that don't know, that's pretty standard practice when it comes to the gaming development community, when it comes to launches and betas. Getting their word out there is colossal. So, for those, anybody who has been paying attention even in the slightest, the last 4 days have fundamentally been a completely different experience for the New World community. The amount of hype, the amount of traffic, the amount of new people entering the community is at an all-time high, and it is shooting through the roof. The traffic on the subreddits is crazy. The traffic like on my Discord has gone through the roof as well, which I'm incredibly happy about. It truly has been a spectacular event. And yeah, like we're absolutely freaking pumped for launch, because it's about time. Like, we said this the last 2 nights in a row now, but fundamentally we started this January 2020, thinking, hey, we've got 4 months. Like, we'll prep the show, we'll build it up, we'll get things going, and like 4 months in, we'll hit it like it's good, and all will be ready. And then they delayed, and then they delayed again, and now we've been running the show for a year and 7 months, and still have a month to go before launch. So.
At least you can play next week, so.
Yes, at least we can play next week. That is a big one. That's a lot of show. There are a lot of episodes. Our YouTube, I believe, has 50-some episodes on it, which includes a lot of our live streams from the preview event, which are less a show and more of just gameplay with commentary and yeah.
Me dying a lot.
Yes, and Crown dying all the time. We also had the opportunity to really kind of showcase a lot of cool stuff after the last patch, or after the last preview event. We had the opportunity to join in and fundamentally see the expeditions. And record that from multiple points of view. we had the opportunity now to see and see the released footage here from Outpost Rush. The IGN coverage of that, where they actually got to play it, is also pretty good. So if you haven't seen that, that's worth watching. Is your face going to be the Covenant promo poster? I would need ballpark 60,000 more followers to probably qualify for that one. I wish. For some reason, just double checking, the stream looked like it was coming through really choppy, and no, it's just my thing is auto spooling.
Yeah, you're good, dude. You're good.
Okay. And yeah, I wish that said, this gives us the opportunity to pick a different server and absolutely dominate that server, because our small but ragtag group of people for the 9th Legion is aiming for a mid-pop server that we can just dominate. Fundamentally, that's kind of what we're aiming for. We've got a couple of groups that we're trying to avoid, a couple of groups that we're trying to join. So like, it'd be really cool if we could get on the same server as Studio Loot and Jafar and several of the other streamers and such that we're used to playing with, that are kind of the like, core. Can I guess who you're avoiding? Are they a massive group that happens to have played the alpha and definitely have a coherent plan to have multiple companies at one time? That would be them. Yeah. I don't want to compete with here's the thing. It's not that there's any kind of bad blood there. It's that I don't have the ability to compete with people who can play 16 hours a day every day. I can't do it. And yeah.
Can't and don't want to.
Yes. I'm old. I'm playing the old card. I can play that now. I now roll a saving throw every time I go to sleep. So the other day I woke up with hip damage. God, that tells you how freaking old I'm getting. Yeah. So that said,
you just gotta stop like fighting people in your sleep and stuff.
Right?
That's probably one
Like,
reason why you
yeah.
fall asleep and then you just like you sort of like
Sleep
thrash
kickbox?
about like someone who's fighting like a cage match with somebody or something like that.
He's trying to fight off the massive clans.
And then you wake up and you go, "What the fuck happened to me? Jesus Christ!"
So there's a lot of fun with that. I'm looking forward. There's a ton of people we're looking forward to playing with. There's some people that I wish I could play with, but I have a feeling they're all going to go to the same server, and unfortunately, the way the game is set up, not everybody is on the same map, so kind of is what it is. But yeah. So, as I said when we started, I kind of want to aim this stream at like just answering questions to the community. I know there's a lot of people in the stream that are definitely not new to the community, and definitely some of them that could probably answer questions better than I could. But we can definitely talk about several different things. Immediately before this show, I was getting crap from people saying we didn't have a plan for this stream, but we still don't.
We don't need a plan. We're just hanging out. Hanging out with everyone.
Plan thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would we have a thought out plan and structure for the show? No, let's not do that, guys.
All right, new plan. we get drunk,
Plan?
and we keep streaming.
Sounds good.
Yay.
Mission
Alright.
accomplished.
Fun fact: I am way ahead of you guys.
First
Yeah.
question we could do is though, what weapons are people wanting to use and why,
yeah.
and our skills to go into.
Yeah, 100%. So in the chat, you guys, tell us what weapons you're interested in, and we'll talk about the ones we're going with. I know for me, I'm gonna go full dex, Constitution dex build, where I'm going muskets. I'm going muskets, spears, rapier, the whole works. I figure there's a lot more variety there, in my opinion. I've never really been a great tank.
It's not too hard to tank. You just kind of stand there and get punched in the face by stuff.
Yeah, so how about you guys? What are you guys doing?
Well, I mean, for me, it all depends on on the ping that I'm going to be dealing with. Considering I'm like all the way in the UK.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, we've made it work pretty well in the past.
Yeah, it's just there's a few kind of sort of weapon options that aren't really too available to me to play.
Yeah.
So in that kind of sense, I'm probably not going to be going a dex build like you are because, for example, a good ping makes makes a rapier quite fun, whereas a bad ping makes a rapier basically a suicide mission.
Oh yeah.
So I have to kind of look at my options in that regard. I'm thinking maybe going, sort of like a intel focused build.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of stuck between going for a spear and musket, or a shield, sword, axe, or something along those lines. Just face tanking everything.
Very nice. So we got tank build, healing staff with a hammer, pure glass cannon, dex int, fire staff, ice gauntlet for massive AoE damage, and rapier musket. Yeah. So I mean, there's a few good, there's a lot of really good builds. There's what the alpha players will probably be telling people to do until we see patch notes, because I think we can assume that there's going to be another balance pass or something, just to mess with people. I think that's a safe bet. I don't know anything other people don't, but I think we can assume that they're going to add stuff to it that might not be there right now, or might not have been there for the alpha to see. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch for. Yeah, they've got to balance a couple of things still, for sure. I'll be very curious to see what other things that they add in. Obviously, I know the majority of the MMO community is going to be paying very close attention to what's in the cosmetic store, and what the prices of those items are going to be. I know I am very curious on what that's going to be. For those that don't know, the video that's on right now was a video that was on IGN. There's a reason we have special branding over it. We had permission to release this directly from them. There's a reason that it also doesn't have the alpha tag in the corner, and it also has a watermark on it because it was not supposed to be released, but was released. We caught it, downloaded it, and then blackmailed Greg into letting us have it.
I wouldn't consider it blackmailing.
I mean, we were basically like, listen, we're going to release this,
we just basically went, IGN fucked up, right?
Yes.
And we
clearly you gave IGN 2 files and they chose the wrong one.
But yeah, Saber, to answer your question, yes, if you buy New World right now, you will get into New World day one. I think the cutoff is the 19th, and then anything after that is within 48 hours. Correct? A's,
Yes.
what's?
Yep.
Yeah.
So the 19th is kind of that last day where there's going to start our 17th tomorrow. Then if there's a 48, so here's the reality. There's going to be some incredibly low priority server that is going to be chugging through, all of the pre-order invites and stuff like that. That's going to be trying to coordinate if you ordered it on Amazon. Now there is a factor here for Amazon. If you ordered it on Amazon, it'll take you about 48 hours to actually get a key because their payment processing system isn't actually going to charge you, but the order processing system is going to have to add it to your account, then communicate to another server that you need to get an invite code that then is going to need to communicate to their email server, which then needs to communicate to you that you got it, which then you take the Steam key that you get from there and then add it into Steam. So here's the workaround. If you pre-order it on Steam, you're probably going to get an invite immediately. I don't want to say on the dot immediately, but let's be realistic. You're getting a Steam key from Amazon. The process is automated on Steam already. So fundamentally, it's less servers and less manual error and less chance of it hitting your hitting your spam filter if you pre-ordered it on Amazon than if you just pre-order it on Steam. The difference is that Amazon will not charge your account until the game launches and they send you the final key. Because once they send you the final key, boom, done. Steam, on the other hand, will charge you immediately because they're a third party and they want their money.
The other thing is there's only two versions of the New World kind of release. It's there's the regular, there's the regular kind of version, and then there's the deluxe version. You don't need to have any kind of specialized streamer version to be able to stream it during the closed beta. Basically the closed beta is basically just, it's a beta for people who have pre-orders. That's the reason why it's called a closed beta, but it isn't NDA'd, so you can stream it. You don't need to have a special version of it or anything like that. Just so long as you have pre-ordered, you'll get access to the closed beta and you can stream it. So
yes,
it's all good.
So one of the things I want to show, if you order it on here, there are a few things that you need to look for. This is not the version of the game that you will play for the closed beta. This is the version that you will have if you pre-ordered the game. Hey, closed beta is coming. This game launches August 31st. The closed beta version of the game is actually a renamed branch within Steam that was the preview event. So you can see that, hey, this is already up, item's not available yet, but it's already attributed to my account. So when it goes active for pre-download, you can download it. We're going to ignore this other little one over here.
Wait, you actually have the preview, the beta one already in your Steam library?
Yes.
Oh, I don't yet. That's weird.
Yes, I have it on there.
Oh, my problem is probably just not updated yet, whatever.
Did you pre-order it on Amazon or on Steam?
Steam.
Oh, hey, look, I have it as
should
well.
I probably haven't restarted my Steam.
Yeah, you might want to restart your Steam then. So that's kind of the thing to look for. It will not. Here's the thing with Steam. If a company attributes your account with something, they don't have to tell you anything. There's no notification whatsoever that you got a new item in your game library. It just doesn't tell you, which kind of is what it is. That said, if you look for it, most people, it's probably there. It might not be in his because he's Canadian.
I'm weird, okay?
Just saying.
No, not there.
And I'm sure they're sorry.
I'm sorry. Sorry for not having it, everyone.
Oh. So.
I need another drink.
See, there's another Canadian who's got it. So it's just you.
Oh. Well, shit.
I'm sure. I'm sure K-Mac is sorry about it.
Oh God. Oh.
Don't get me started talking like a Letterkenny show. It's a reference things no one probably knows.
I know way too much about that show because I'm actually formerly Canadian.
What did you get it? Just
Formerly
removed
Canadian.
Excuse me?
There's
yourself?
been
Like
some
what?
dispute on that fact.
Excuse me.
By birth, I was. My dad is Canadian, so by birth, I'm technically Canadian. Regardless
guess you're
of
all
where
right
I was
then.
born, which was in the U.S., which is, fundamentally, if you were born here, you are an American. There's some rules there. I've also done some paperwork to renounce my Canadian citizenship from the American side because of who I work for. And I can't have allegiance to multiple countries because I work for a specific, powerful group in control of certain things that,
He's basically saying he's part of the Illuminati.
yes, pretty much.
I mean,
100%.
there's a reason. There's a reason the symbol of the Twitch channel is what it is. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I can confirm, though, Robot, that Canadian niceness doesn't manifest in online gaming, because I know some real assholes. Am I one of them? Depends on the day.
I
It's
would-
because
and that-
they
that's a
just
good
pile on,
It's a good question in chat, though, A's and Cloud. Throw that out to you. Do you think crafting's going to evolve anymore? Because I don't think it is. I think it's been pretty consistent throughout the years.
So,
I mean, is crafting going to evolve at all, like in the full life cycle of New World? I think it is. But like, is it gonna go through?
Yeah.
Sorry, is it gonna go through a fundamental change or like significant kind of additions in the next month or so? Probably not.
I happen to have a relevant video on that playing in the background.
But
for those that don't know, the crafting has been updated a couple of times, even actually since the preview. It's been updated twice in the patch notes, with relatively major changes to it. They've removed a substantial amount of the RNG, but there's when I say a substantial amount, I mean it's a little bit easier to get what you're aiming for, but
if you have the right materials.
Yeah, you gotta have the right materials. They really have changed things up. They've changed, just a ton actually. I'd have to look at the preview version of the game in order to even get halfway there. There's
been a lot of changes.
There's been a lot of changes. I gotta pull up one of the patch notes. That's what I'm doing on the other screen here.
But I still think that there's going to be potentially small changes and that kind of thing to to fix bugs and this, that, and the other. You always get your day zero sort of your patches, you put 2 patches when a new game kind of launches. So you're going to get those changes up. But do I think there's going to be significant changes? I don't think so. I think it's in a good place at the moment. I wouldn't say I know significant amounts about
Can't read
about
the
it at the moment, but I definitely will. I think I'm definitely gonna explore it in the beta.
Yeah,
I definitely think it's in a good spot. It's in a better spot than it is in the preview, just from the patch notes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, from what they've said, they've added a lot to it, and it just seems like it's going to be
Absolutely. So fundamentally, they've changed a bunch of things about the crafting, but the other thing to account for is the resource gathering. So Robot Dork makes a good question here. Am I constantly going to be changing my outfit, wandering the world each time I fight a monster, and then find a resource node? If you want to like absolutely min-max everything that you possibly do, yes. Are you going to do it every time? God no. Like you're gonna go out there and you're gonna go hunt for, you know, star metal up in the north, and you know you're gonna. Who's here? What now? Did I miss
Hello.
something?
No.
But I
he
mean,
didn't.
there are definitely items that you could add to your clothing that will help you in certain things. But I mean, yeah, if you want to be the best tree chopper in the land, yes, there is definitely things that you could do to become the best tree chopper in the land. But it's not going to help you fight the corrupted or any of that. I mean, it's you got to choose which way you want to go through this.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I want to go chop trees or go mine, I'm probably going to ditch all my gear. And I'm really for it. Probably turn off PvT, ditch all my gear, and run pretty much nothing, so the smallest carry weight possible. And just mine until I'm pretty much full carry weight or over full carry weight. And there's if it's the same way you couldn't preview, you just kind of hit the suicide button and get back to base.
Any ideas on what would go with the life staff? So what I would combo the life staff with would be probably heavy armor. You know, the reasoning behind that is you're going to need to be relatively close to the front to target people, lesser so than like your musket users who are able to like sit way back. You're going to want to stay alive, which naturally means you're going to want heavy resistances and all that, which is going to make your heals better for yourself, but also make it so that you can be up close and personal if you need to be. A lot of the abilities are kind of the mid-range abilities, so it's kind of important to utilize those in the best way possible. And the only way to use them is naturally to be kind of in the middle of things.
So to be fair, you actually can stand a little farther back. One of my biggest things is I'm definitely gonna go with the heavy armor, because I was just so squishy the entire time. But threat reduction, you want as much threat reduction as you could
Yes.
have, because your healing spells generate so much threat.
Mm-hmm. And there's actually a gem that reduces your threat reduction, so you're going to want slotted items that can reduce that threat so that you're not the target and everyone else is. That's the same for your like glass cannon builds. It's going to be like very tempting to be like, oh yeah, I can deal a shitload of DPS. Well, okay, anytime you're doing any kind of NPC anything, dealing all of the DPS, like way more than anyone else, is going to generate a lot of threat, which means the enemies are going to come attack you.
So, in that case, there's the tanks that can take it the other way. You also would need a tank in your group that was generating threat so they can pull you off. There's a little bit of a give-take when it comes to that, which is good. And it actually makes building, like, your squad up into different things actually very, very important.
Absolutely. So, like, actually coming into things like expeditions with, like, a coherent plan of who's gonna do what role is actually really important. We actually watched IGN try and run the expedition with three or four sword and board users. So there's a huge downside to not bringing a healer and just trying to DPS through things, because they can block you and they can attack you, and yeah. Maybe it should have a healing buff. Armor, heavy armor seems like unanimously the most sensible choice. I mean, yeah, pretty much. The overall kind of feel when it comes to survivability is that, like, unless you really are in positions that you need to roll away and you need that kind of added mobility of light armor, because you don't gain any, like, ground speed. So, like, to clarify, like, the difference in between heavy, medium, and light is your dodging ability. You know, so, you know, with heavy armor, like, you're going to be able to, like, jump to the side a little. With medium armor, you're going to be able to kind of, like, get a little further away. With light armor, you're going to do, like, a tuck and roll. You're going to make some distance in between you and where you were. That creates a lot of different gameplay in terms of what you're able to kind of do in the short term. You can be kind of a really nimble. Two weapons that work really well with light armor are the rapier and the hatchet, because you can kind of get in, get out, kind of do your thing while, you know, beating the crap out of people. So enact your damage and then dodge what they're trying to do to you. So those are some ideas, and then from there you've got, you know, your heavy is going to be your guys who are just, like, you know that you're going to be in there, you know that you're going to be taking a beating. So, like, if you're planning on using a siege hammer, if you're planning on using a, you know, great axe, if you're planning on being sword and board and being the tank, you're going to want heavy armor. Just simply put. And there's going to be a lot of variety within that. So one of the things that to kind of take into account when it comes to building your character out, I realized the video ended. You know, when you're building your character out, you want to build in mostly towards the stats that are going to promote your weapons. So you might find a really good heavy piece of armor, but if you're entirely dex build, you know, even if you were going with like a tanky dex build for some reason, and you decided to instead turn and you know, take this new piece, it might not have the attribute bonuses that you were looking for. It might have strength bonuses because it's a heavy piece of armor. It might have constitution bonuses, so it might be useful if you're aiming for that kind of added tank. Can you send me a New World meme that is relevant to the discussion? Yes. If it's the one from Reddit, where I personally think the one from Reddit today or the other day was pretty freaking comical. It might have the intelligence bonus. Yeah, we'll take a look.
One of the other guys had a question. What was it? What weapon would you recommend for more assassin get in, get out type of styles?
If you want to be super nimble and kind of bouncing around, there isn't really like an assassin per se, unless you want to be like ranged and kind of peck people off with like extreme prejudice. You could go like a super glass cannon musket build would be an okay way.
So
of
like
just
musket rapier would be probably best.
Yeah, musket rapier would be pretty brutal, because even if they do catch you, you're going to be able to do a lot of dodging and bouncing around to kind of dodge their damage, but anytime you hit them, you'll do a decent amount of damage. That could be a route to go with that, for sure.
Yeah, definitely rapier, or I don't know if you've actually used a rapier from doing things or not, but like, yeah, it's quick. So
if you're going dex build, you also get the ability to use the
spear as well.
The spear, and as well as in terms of being able to throw that spear for a knockdown, and also you've got to be able. You can obviously use a bow, and there's some cool bonuses for the bow that allows you to sort of slow and incapacitate a player, so which helps with being able to land those heavy headshots with a musket.
Yeah. Me knowing Dark Torch there, he can shoot, so and aim.
Yeah.
Usually,
one of the things to note is that Constitution is king. Like, staying alive is probably more to me and like most people out there. Staying alive is more important in many ways than. Oh, my bad. I got the sound turned off. Yeah. But yeah, like I personally like I'm all for Constitution. It's kind of always been the meta. Like they've been trying to break away from Constitution builds, but like the reality is your tanks need to survive a long time, but the problem with that is that like you also need to give your glass cannon builds enough damage, raw damage, or alpha damage even, to impact the heavy Constitution as though they weren't heavy Constitution.
Yeah.
Well, that falls into the same way with like if I would pure focus, try to get as much healing as I could. Well, the more Constitution that my tank has, the more healing I have to do to make a difference in the damage.
Exactly. So like there's aspects around like not just the like how much health they have, but how much resistances they have that's important there as well. Where like if you've got a guy who like constantly needs healing, but he's wearing light armor with just shit resistances for what you're trying to do, you're not going to have a good time because your healer is just not going to be able to keep up because you've only got so many spells. You've only got they do not cycle that quickly, and it's going to be a rough time.
You can get bursted if you don't have. Like, if you had 2 or 3 people on you, depends on the setting, because, like, if you're against mobs and depending, you might be able to survive.
Yeah.
But if you're in, like, a war situation and you're trying to go in the front with no armor or anything, you may get bursted. But also you may have enough healers to keep you up, so it's all kind of a balance, and I think they're doing hopefully they're doing a good job with it. We'll have to see, but...
So, what is the leveling meta? So I can't tell you what the meta was in the alpha, but I can tell you that doing things that get you a lot of... that's the dumbest way to put that. Doing things that give you a lot of XP are going to be the things you're going to do. That's where my brain...
Sherlock.
You can tell it's a Friday. So there are things that they've added in. They obviously want you to play the quest line. They want you to go through and kind of understand like what you're doing there. There are a lot of really important quests. The quest line should give decent XP. I can't guarantee that because they can always change the numbers. They can always do any kind of other oddity.
I think they said in one of the
I have to mute
posts.
my mic. You guys can keep talking, but I have to take a phone call.
Okay. Well, just to go on the quest, I think I'm just trying to look it up right now, but I think they did on one of the recent posts that they're trying to push XP towards questing, but I need to check the actual dev post for that, because I'm still not 100% sure on what it was. Jamie or Mac, do you guys remember what they said on the post?
I don't. I just know that I follow the choo-choo train, and that was always helpful.
Yeah, so the preview was definitely portals. It was just...
I mean, the previews were portals. You can be pretty certain that it's not going to be portals this time. Otherwise, because otherwise it's a tried and tested thing, right? Yeah,
Will
it's not
portals be a
really.
good spot to get some XP? Probably, but will it be the main source? And probably be better also in conjunction with other things. Like, it's probably gonna be a little bit of a mix of stuff to probably be the fastest, but I wouldn't say portals or anything would be the best time anyways. Like, I don't know. I can't find the patch notes where they actually said something about the like XP gaining for.
They added
I
the
think I
lore
got it.
pages. I know that was in the patch as well. That was in the patch notes. They added XP for lore pages. They added, you know,
Doubled XP for awarded discovering points of interest.
yep. So actually, just going around the map and getting all of the question marks of like, hey, oh, here's all the points of interest. You know, that's a pretty rapid way of getting a decent amount of point or a decent amount of XP. You know, anytime you're kind of running like, here's the advice that I'm going to give you: accept many quests at one time. Run loops, so you can accept a bunch of quests from one area, go run loops. And when I say accept a bunch of quests, I mean like accept the standard like quest line quests there, accept faction board quests, accept town board quests, the whole works. From there, what you want to do is you want to kind of run loops around the map. So you're going to get a whole bunch of points, but just kind of run them in a circle. And that way you kind of cover everything, and at the same time you're going to kind of zigzag around on that first loop to go through and capture and not capture, but like get the XP for discovering those points of interest, and potentially grab a couple of lore pages while you're running through when you see them. And that'll give you that'll give you a big boost in XP, and every time you finish one of those cycles, you're going to get a ton of XP, because turning in all those quests is going to be huge. Simply put, that's your winning formula for the average Joe.
You want to be, if you're running around, you want to be efficient with it. So just basically just get as many things as you can, I would say, and then just run.
If you've got to run a kilometer in one direction, you want to run a kilometer in one direction and do more than one thing doing it. There's no reason to run for one quest out all the way across the map when you can do 5 closer by for more XP than the one by lots.
Also, what was it? The fast travel points, because they added those in.
Mm-hmm. Fast travel points are going to be a thing that you're going to want to hit up almost immediately.
Yeah, those are definitely important.
Those are going to be straight up vital. You're going to find yourself using those all the time. Same with actually going out and getting all of the outposts and settlements. The outposts up north and the settlements, those are fast travel locations. If you're in a settlement, you can fast travel to another settlement. So being able to bounce from settlement to settlement, you can also fast travel from the settlements to the fast travel points, and from the fast travel points to the settlements or other fast travel points. You guys can see where this is coming to a point where, hey, fast travel might be important.
Yes.
Eventually, you're going to hit the end game. And when I say eventually, I mean that this is an MMO. This is you can see that there are obviously a number of different there are a number of different progression systems between your trade skills, your gathering skills, your weapon skills and abilities, your character level, your faction standing, your territory standing. As you can see, there are a number of things that you are going to need to grind up in order to be, like, if you want to be proficient at everything, you're going to be putting in a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And that is the way that, like, fundamentally MMOs work. So if anybody wants to argue that they artificially changed that because they want to add in boosters later, then clearly you've never played another MMO in history of MMOs. Like, that's always been a thing. It's always will be a thing. It's not a problem being introduced so that they can solve it with a different monetary way. Like, that's just how these games play. That said, things that we also know. The XP in the preview event last year was increased substantially from where it was supposed to be. This means that the people that you saw, like, I think we managed to just make 60 by the end of it. I think we had like 2 days at 60 for my character at least, and the challenging part there is obviously you want to make sure that you're progressing, because there's a lot to look forward to. Like, one of the things we're playing in the background on repeat here at this point is the Outpost Rush clips. Outpost Rush is fundamentally unlocked at level 60. So you got to make it to the end game. This is why they were talking about, like, hey, like, in order for the game to be healthy, we want a lot of people in the end game, because that's where Outpost Rush is. That's where you're going to have a lot of replayable content. It's a good time, So, looking forward to that. Looking forward to that is a good thing, but also, like, enjoy the trip. Enjoy the adventure. Enjoy the process. If anybody's ever played Warframe, it's a perfect example of this. Sure, for a while you're like kind of leveling. There's some levels involved, but mostly it's how pimped out can you get your gear and your Warframes so that you can run things more and more efficiently. So, in New World, it's very similar to that. Eventually, you're going to get into the T5 gear. You're going to try and get certain things. And it's going to be challenging. There's going to be things that you grind for a lot. There's going to be expeditions that you run over and over again trying to get the reward out of it. Or trying to get the legendary drop out of it. There's... elite points of interest where you're going to be sitting there once a day trying to get the elite boxes open, like elite supply crates, that you're going to have to fight your way in there to get them, but they've got a chance at spawning really good stuff. So it's kind of this, like, pseudo min. Once you get to the end game, it's all about min-maxing. Like, how can I best build out my character for the absolute best stats, the absolute best amount of damage, while I'm also, not dying to everything that looks my direction. And yeah. Will people be able to face roll through questing while watching TV? Not likely.
Ends in the quest, probably.
You may die. Like, if you're on your way to 60, the way that the map works, and the way, like, some considerations to think about when you're moving around the map, is the elite damage system, or like the AI. What is this called? I forget the exact name for it. If an NPC is a higher level than you, based on the amount of levels that it is above you, it will deal more damage, it will see you from further away, it will trigger more abilities, it will become much more brutal, and if it's above, I think, 10,
it will wreck your
stagger
day
at all either. So fundamentally, if you're like just rolling around like, oh, no big deal, like, it's just a classic classic good old time, you're gonna have a hard day if you accidentally walk through something you shouldn't, because it will kill you, and it will kill you very quickly, and you will learn that you were not supposed to go through there. You were supposed to go around there. So the
can't exactly
open
wander
world comes at
aimlessly.
you from multiple directions. If you're flagged for PvP, also you're going to have some challenges in terms of survivability, because at any moment in time somebody could just pop out on you and start dunking you. And if you're just tooling through the woods on your auto run, watching an episode of Scrubs or something on the other screen, you're going to have a rough time when you turn back and go, oh god, I'm half health because the guy with the musket is screwing me up.
They'll want to try to get a group of people to lie down PvP enabled in a bush and just camp something like a canyon or something and just ambush.
I'm not gonna lie, like I've really been tempted to change the company's name to Merry Men, and straight up do a whole Robin Hood theme. Like the internal thoughts of my head, but we're sticking with the Ninth Legion. Don't worry. I won't require tights.
What we do require, we need to get our Centurion skins. That's what we need.
Yes, fundamentally, that is one of, like, for as much as people give shit about, skin, you shouldn't pay for skins, you shouldn't, it should just be in the game, things you get, blah, 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 like, screw you guys. If they're selling a Centurion skin, I'm buying it. Like, frankly, I don't care about people's opinion. I'm wearing my Roman armor. Is what it is. Sucks to suck. Don't care. Like,
glad you're a man on principle.
yes. For anybody who didn't get the Men in Tights joke, there's a movie, Robin Hood Men in Tights. One of the just a phenomenal movie that everybody should see at some point in their life. Incredibly relevant because you can stand in the forest and rob from the rich and give to the poor.
It's also one of the very few films that actually stars Dave Chappelle.
Yes. In not a lead role either.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely a support role for that movie. Just great movie. Great movie, great cast. Was that Wesley Snipes, is that one? Am I wrong on that?
What's that?
Is that Wesley Snipes?
Okay.
Nope, Cario is. My bad. But yeah, it's got Dave Chappelle, Mel Brooks, I think was the producer of that one.
Patrick Stewart's the king.
Yeah, Patrick. Yeah. Oh god. It's real good. It's so good, so good.
The stick fighting scene is fantastic, by the way.
God, that was back in the day when you could kind of do anything with movies, like Men in Tights. Now they're yoga pants. I'm gonna sidetrack for a moment. The fact that the inventor of yoga pants has yet to receive a Nobel Peace Prize, is a fucking shame. Like maybe it's because is this just a thing that like Sweden doesn't have yoga pants or something? Like, has that trend not caught on up there? Because like the second it does, like they're gonna switch their votes. Just putting that out there. Hot take.
Ace's hot takes.
Yes. Really bad at this whole keeping video running in the background here.
Fine.
What I should do is just load it in as an actual video and put it on loop in OBS. That would be the responsible thing to do, instead of just clicking play over and over again. That was
What's
a
the
cue
fun
for
in
you
that?
guys to fill the dead air while I do that.
So
Was it really?
question in the chat that so do you guys reckon this will become bigger than WoW eventually?
Considering WoW's dying, yeah.
I mean, it seems like a lot of games are dying right now, so there's a chance that a lot of them could migrate over to New World.
They could.
They keep up the.
Especially if Final Fantasy, still doesn't let people buy their game because they have too many people. That'd be great. And Robot, to answer your question, I am the absolute worst among the group.
If it's not proof that we're doing this live,
I don't know what is.
I'm not gonna lie.
Don't mind me, just editing.
No.
things
This is all very carefully choreographed.
Yes.
I'm definitely not playing Sea of Thieves right now, running around. I'm looking for treasure right now, everyone.
Absolutely.
So out of you three, who's the best PvPer?
It's not Mac.
No, because I have terrible
Cloud's
ping.
ping is so bad that like he's instantly disqualified. It's probably me just based on raw hours, because like I've done it more, but we haven't tested this, so like I could be wrong.
I know I beat Jamie, but he was letting me be. He was being a target dummy.
Well, yeah, there's a reason I chose the life staff. I enjoy the life staff. I enjoy having very little responsibility. I spam certain keys over and over again, and then I get gold. That's all I care about.
Thankfully, I'm so glad they fixed the whole like tagging in on stuff if you're in a party. Because I know from preview that was so annoying if anyone was using ranged or life staff. Like no one could. It was like, oh yeah, we'd have to split, and like because I was using sword and shield a lot.
That was such a funny moment in one of the dev interviews where they were like, "Oh, it's not happening." Oh yeah, no, that's meant to be. You're meant to be like getting XP if you're in a group. You don't need to tag into anything. Like clearly that's a bug. Sorry about that. Like we'll fix that. I was like, oh.
That was when we were. That's when we were talking with them for the expedition.
Yeah, there was also that. Yeah. Also in the expedition, but it was also in a dev interview. I can't remember whose on the sort of after the preview.
Oh, that's the Asmongold interview as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the one.
Yeah. The moment of internal panic as I look through like a lot of my old files from the flash drive that is supposed to contain all of our old video and etc. from the show, including all of the files for like the expedition content. It is straight up gone.
That's not.
I mean,
good.
I can't help you there, mate.
Yeah.
Tales from tech support story coming in.
I mean, at this point, that ship sailed. I reformatted the computer, so. Although to be fair, that this might actually be on one of the two big drives that I haven't reinstalled on the motherboard yet. What territory are we aiming for? If we can get it, we're going to take Everfall. If not, we want Windsward. If not, we'll take Monarch's Bluff.
A's, that was the completely wrong answer. We are taking Everfall.
Yes, we're taking Everfall. If for some reason that happens before we do it, then
Then
we're taking Everfall afterwards. we will fight them for it.
It feels like we're getting a big enough group, and friends of friends will come and join us. If we can all get in the same group, we'll.
Not gonna lie, unless the ground surrounding the was it the fortification for Everfall like changes, like that's some really fucking defensible place.
Oh,
Like, that is really defensible.
I don't know what places we fought for Windsward in the preview, right?
yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
In the preview,
I think I also played Fort. Yeah.
What territories did we win? We had
We
I think Monarch's
the preview
Bluff?
preview we got Windsward, I think,
Yeah.
or it was the density test or something. I don't remember which, but we got one of them.
We
Windsward
definitely.
and
I think we
Cutlass
definitely
Keys,
fought
I
for
think.
Everfall.
Yes, because I know we went and helped at one of them, and then with the other one we took.
Yeah. Because there was the one. Yeah, it was. We won the one with like maybe 7 of us versus like 30 of them, and like they were just so bad that like we just dumpstered them.
Yeah, that's when I think we. Oh yeah, it's when we found a grind spot outside of Windsward.
Yes.
Yes, that was that time. That was fun. I still hope they have those kind of things, but it kind of seems like you can't really grind some of those bosses because they don't respawn, or like the chest doesn't respawn. Which isn't... Because I like being able to kind of just grind an area and hang out there, but... Also,
Yeah.
it does push you to like move around the map and explore, which I'm okay with.
Yeah. Kind of looking forward to like obviously like there's going to be another set of patch notes here. You know, people are looking at it from the perspective of like it won't. I highly doubt that it'll be anything too massive different. They may add some kind of additional module that we don't know about. But like they're not going to throw like fundamental core systems that are like field tested to the wind without testing them. So I'm not overly concerned about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do some changes in balance buffs, because apparently some weapons need stuff or whatever, like here and there. Would assume they're probably going to do from some balance stuff from the last like alpha update, because pretty much be in July update compared to the last 2 June updates, and then they'll move to something. But I wouldn't expect anything really new, I would say, until... Wouldn't be surprised at launch they put something in they haven't really talked about, or like September, later into September, October kind of thing. We'll be starting to see new stuff.
Oh, yeah. Things that we might see as well are things like new zones.
Yeah, that's true.
We know they're working on other stuff. It's not a
Fingers crossed, Vikings. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see Vikings at some point. We've seen the ships.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna see any number of other like ancient cultures and stuff like that. Like it's pretty much guaranteed that that's gonna happen, because like given that route, you might as well run down it.
Yeah.
It gives a lot of opportunity when it comes to like the cosmetics and and those kind of things. This is making me really, really badly want to play the game.
Very, very so.
Tuesday.
So close. We're so close.
Yeah, is it... What was it? Now, if we have a big group, we're seeming to be getting a bigger group. So, we'll probably be able to take a territory off the first day if we are quick and get into a server with... If we get into a server that there aren't elf people in, and or a huge group, we'll get one easily, I'd say.
Well, and we have a certain member of this group in here who knows how to make lots of money very quickly. and he always, gets ahead of that real quick.
Yeah. I do have a propensity for making money in MMOs. Is our company recruiting? Absolutely. We're going to be playing on US East as Covenant. You can join our Discord. We're more than happy to take on anybody. We've got a number of people. So here's the thing about our Discord. We share our Discord with the live stream and the Ninth Legion both run out of the same Discord. There's an additional channel that we will be utilizing for that, but effectively, it all runs off of one. Mostly because I'm going to be in here all the time anyways, and frankly, that's just instead of having to bounce between two sets of comms, it just makes my life easier.
Yeah.
That might seem selfish, but it is what it is.
You're
also,
allowed to be selfish.
Pretty much every officer in the company pretty much works for the stream as well, in some fashion. Either these two as moderators or McLeod as a co-host, and me.
I don't know what I moderate, but I'm here.
To be fair, as long as the auto mod's there's really not a whole lot to do.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. If we have to moderate something really bad's going on. It's time for everyone to kick into gear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really cool. Obviously starting a stream like this, a year and a half ahead of time was not the plan. We started this with 4 months to go. That we're kind of gonna roll in. You've got mod privileges. It's not gonna mute you.
I know it will.
But it's different. It's different. It really feels different to run the stream now than it did before. And it's just kind of this cool feeling. I feel like we're actually making progress. I feel like we're building towards something. And I got a lot of hope because of it.
Yeah. Now you just gotta get some devs in here or something for a one-on-one. That's what we
I have consistently been up that tree. There's no other way to put it. It's really just a timing thing right now. When the time is appropriate, and I think when we're a little bit closer to launch, we do plan on there's interest in actually having one of them. The devs aren't busy right now though, but now is not the best time to cover the content creator program and stuff like that, because you want to cover it when people are looking. Right now, yes, the hype is building, but consider what the hype is going to be on Tuesday. Consider what the hype is going to be next weekend. The devs aren't on vacation; they're on overtime right now.
They're going to get all their vacation in November, December.
Yeah. Provided the game doesn't launch with any major bugs, they're going to take their vacations in November, December, yeah.
So where do you guys see? So let's say this August 31st rolls around. 5 months after that, I'm kind of messing up Robot's question a little bit, but August 31st, 5 months later, where are we at? Where is the Ninth Legion at? I'm thinking minimum one territory. We got all 50 people lined up.
100 now.
Well, man, just excuse me.
Just everybody jump on him at once.
So
You're wrong.
We got 100 people now, which, man, that's a game changer. and I'm thinking when running, high level content, it's a couple of nights a week, easy. We have a bunch of leaders, a bunch of runners, stuff like that. But where do you guys see us in 5 months after launch?
Oh God, like it's quite a question.
Worst
100,
case
100K
scenario.
followers.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, 100K followers. With a pimped mansion on the coast. Like no. Worst case scenario, that maybe a sizable amount of alpha players have wasted a colossal amount of their time and found something that is incredibly meaningful and boring fun for that entire time and convinced themselves wrongly that they were having a good time. And it could be another Crucible. I don't think that's going to be the case, because I don't think that volume of people is going to have disillusioned themselves to the game to the game actually being good. Like, the game is good. Been playing it a crazy amount. God, I want you to do an ASMR stream. Are you sure about that?
Is he talking to you or me? That's the question, though.
Yeah. With which one? I was told by my boss's boss today that I apparently have a very soothing voice as I talked them down from a panic attack. So, beats me. God knows that would be the only way we would go over to OnlyFans, because nobody wants to see this. Like,
Oh boy.
Yeah, we'd be the one stream in the hot tub category that people are like, oh no, nope.
Honestly, there's probably more than you would think.
Yeah.
You never know. We might be the only hot tub stream that's doing something slightly different.
I feel like at some point I should like get my laptop powered up and try and run the stream from it, and like go up to the hot tub and run the stream from up there. And just scar the viewer base for life.
I'm gonna resign now.
Oh God. So things that I absolutely don't think are going to happen for launch. There is no way in hell that these things happen at all. Not a chance. You might as well stop asking. And for like everyone's sanity, and for your Reddit karma's sanity, and for like just get over it. It's not going to happen. The game is never going back to the old loot system. Fundamentally, they've said it doesn't work. They know it doesn't work. Anybody who's arguing that it doesn't know what they're talking about. If you think that that's going to be the saving grace that saves a game, I've got a game called Last Oasis that is fundamentally the case in point about how that mechanic as a whole is not going to save your game. You need quality content that is repeatable and that people are going to enjoy for years and years and years. Otherwise, your game is going to die very rapidly because of hyper tribalism and super, super toxicity that comes with it. Like, fundamentally, that is the ironclad bar that they have set forward. It is not going back. They will not go back. They have statistics and player retention numbers from Alpha 1 that were so horrible that they took their game from, and I'm going to pull this up because no one ever believes me, but we're going to do it. I'm going to find my timeline. Going to the timeline. So
Go to the timeline.
We go to edit because I need it to be bigger.
Also, bad news, everyone. My boat's sinking in Sea of Thieves.
So
On a complete
Womp
side
womp.
note.
why is this timeline important? Game was announced in 2016, which means they'd already put in several years of development. For people who don't understand how MMOs work, that's how that works. You work on something a while until you're comfortable saying, hey, this is actually something that we're doing, then, it continues. For instance, Amazon Game Studios started up a new studio location that is taking on a bunch of the people who originally worked on Rainbow Six Siege. So, they have not announced what that location is working on,
Oh no.
but guess what?
I'm-
They're working on something that they have not announced. So this line in the sand right here of them announcing that they're working on New World meant that somewhere back here, they were actually doing something. So, sliding over, you can see that there's years of development, and then Alpha 1 starts. Now, we can't talk about what happened, but obviously something happened, because at some point in time, there was a page on Amazon that went live for about a day that was confirming a beta, that was confirming not a launch date, but at least a beta. We assume that the launch was immediately following the beta, theoretically, right? Now, something
sense, yeah.
happened between December, January of 2019 in the alpha that turned them to say, holy shit, this is bad. This is game breaking. This is something that fundamentally changes the direction of the game in every conceivable way from where we were to where we are. Now, what is the biggest fundamental change that they made between Alpha 1 and Alpha 2? Full loot PvP and always on PvP was gone. So opt-in PvP being the absolute biggest change. You don't now here's the thing. We knew that they had a beta planned because that leaked. They canceled that beta without telling anybody. Then ran the alpha through July and ended the alpha with no fanfare, no plan to go into beta, nothing. Hey, we need to go rework some stuff. Then they came back with the vengeance, like, hey, we got a better vision. This is going to be what we're going to do, and we're going to get this going good. Let's do it. That changed things. The biggest thing that changed, and look at what pops here, right before the alpha is actually started, evolution of New World's PvP, the community Q&A for PvP, like, fundamentally speaking, that's the big thing. Sure, there's a bunch of, odds and ends, building a turn and blah, 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 like, fluff articles there, but, like, your headliners are your PvP change. Then from there, they ran their alpha, realized, hey, there's some more stuff that we need to change here. Is this fundamentally accurate? Yes. This is actually accurate to the day that every single one of these things launched. Yes, I get it. I'm a nerd. I look at stats, I look at things, and I track things that definitely don't need to be tracked for any conceivable reason. And yeah, I know.
It's fun.
But it allows me to have this graphic that'll show you, hey, look, they're clearly building towards a much more serious launch here. Like, going into beta, or going into what would have been the beta when they first announced it, they've got that going on. It's a little bit of a rise. Like, hey, there's more stuff. Like, let's, hey, you can see stuff kind of drops off. Like, hey, we delayed the beta, but, we're also, like, not trying to build hype here anymore. Like, there's a delay in between stuff. You get the density test, you get the preview event. is there a link to this graphic that's read-only? It's in the Discord channel. If you type timeline in the search on the Discord, it'll show up in there. So we have that. It'll probably, it's also on Reddit. I posted it there the other day. So you get the preview event. Obviously, they're trying to like maintain interest here. So like you start spreading stuff out. Well then, hey, Alpha 3 kicks off. Well, hey, let's do this. We're getting into December. Let's talk to people. Let's get some stuff going. All of a sudden, they're starting to drop multiple things on one day. Big hits. Then they're starting to run events. They're starting to push forward. They're starting to run things much more frequently. They give time to build anticipation between their next articles when there's important things. PvP vision and new features. I think this is the one that they talked about, Outpost Rush, and like how like fundamentally they see the game as a connection between PvP and PvE, and that they mesh together. And that this is kind of like their moment of like doubling down when it comes to not doing like PvP specific servers, because frankly, like if you understand how the PvP in New World works, there are areas that, so to clarify, there is a area called Outpost Rush that brings you to a special part of the map that has PvP on all the time, and it has objectives, it has all kinds of stuff related to it. It also has custom gear that can only be got in that game mode. So that's huge. That's what everybody wanted. Hey, we want this area that like everybody can go PvP and it'll have all this special stuff and blah blah blah. Like boom, Outpost Rush, it's in the game.
You can literally kill somebody who's PvEing and steal all their shit that they've been mining, cutting down, chopping, all that kind of stuff.
Yep, you'll literally steal the resources that they were collecting to go build up their forts. Like, that's how Outpost Rush works. Like, if you didn't get that from the video that was playing earlier, Outpost Rush is awesome. Like, you guys are going to look forward to this, but it is a long ways away. I hope you like the grind. It's gonna be a good time, but it's gonna be a grind. It's gonna be gonna be pushing it. Especially if you want to get there like soon. Now, the other kicker is that like if you're one of the first like 3 people to make it there, guess what? You also need 40 people to sign up at the same time on your server in order to play Outpost Rush.
Yeah, I feel like Outpost Rush should be able to like cross server thing.
Yeah, like here's hoping that they thought of that. Like,
oh, I was hoping that would be the case. Like I did mention it on one of the shows previously that at least because we've had the worlds get sort of posted as to all the different worlds that you can be in on, say, the US East or US West, that kind of thing. Like, and essentially, I what I would hope is that like the queuing for Outpost Rush, considering that they it puts you in a very specific area, like specific cornered off area of the map to be able to do your thing, that it should like I feel like it should sort of merge all of the different worlds and then be able to pull people to and from different servers to be able to play. Hopefully that happens either when the game launches, that's a thing when the game launches, or that Amazon Games can kind of like code that in fairly quickly.
Absolutely. I'm looking for a very specific Reddit post. It was the one with all the server names. Got it in Discord, but I don't want to me to just show my Discord? Because like I got a lot of stuff in Discord. Whatever, we'll show Discord. Doesn't show anything that's not supposed to be there. Oh, good. People couldn't see that. Sorry, I had to move something off to. Anyways, so here's the server names. This is super small font, isn't it? It is super small. Wow. So, Central Europe. Oh, wow, it's still tiny.
Having size issues there.
This is just. That like readable? Yeah, that's readable. There we go. So, Central Europe. Plenty of servers. US East. North America East. By the way, we pseudo know where these locations are. For people who haven't figured this out, one of them are. Let me find the actual link so I don't misquote anything. For the record, there's I'm going to Studio Loot's Discord to find this because I borrowed it from them, and yeah,
because they're just fucking awesome as well.
They happen to have the right thing at the right time, and yeah. So, Cloud Ping. So, you're looking for Amazon Web Services, and you're looking for specific servers located in specific places. For instance, Asia Pacific, Sydney, and you want to test your ping right now on where those things are. Let me grab the link to this, and boom, you can check your ping.
It's like
to every single one of them.
Like the chances of Amazon Games not using AWS servers for this for New World is like basically none. It's not.
Virtually
they're
nil.
be using
Like
AWS.
it's gonna be a thing. Yeah. So that said, with knowing that these are the actual server locations, and again, I realize that this is tiny font, but I'll scroll in a little. You can tell where the AWS servers are. This means if you want to pick what's actually close to you and what actually is going to give you a decent ping, it is what it is. That said, based on this list, we know roughly where these things are. We know it's Central Europe. I believe last time they said it was Germany, so that's the Berlin server. That one. Is it Frankfurt? Sydney server, Asia Pacific. Could these other locations here, aside from the government cloud locations, could these other ones here be utilized? Absolutely. But they would have to have a good, compelling reason to do so. I know there's a ton of people who have been arguing for like a Singapore-based server and like a South Korea-based server. It's really dependent on what they want to do and when they want to do it, and if they can get agreements to sell the game in those areas. There's a lot more to it than just setting up a server and making it possible. You want to make sure that it's also financially viable to do so. obviously there's a lot of gamers in those areas, and like they would want to play the game. But as we have shown in the past, McLeod and I playing on the same server. McLeod is in England, and I am in the US on the East Coast, playing on a US East Coast server for the preview. We were able to play with no real major issues. McLeod here has, been playing for a substantial amount of time without playing on a European server, and I'm sure it's probably a different field to play with less ping, but if McLeod ever gets Starlink, then he'll be able to play on US East with much less ping too.
Yay! That would be pretty fucking cool.
Oh yeah. And of course, legally they can't sell it in China because China's China, and yeah. So those are all like kind of big things. Those like knowing. Oh, sorry. In terms of things that triggered one of the things I said earlier, please change the death mechanics before release. Lol, that's not gonna happen. I follow the Reddits, both of them. I comment on both of them. I'm a moderator on one of them, and I can tell you with certainty that is not going to happen, and that person is probably going to get trolled out of the room. Especially on that subreddit. Didn't hear it from me. I'm not throwing shade. I'm holding it in. There are allies. We're in talks to merge. They're good people. They're just a lot slower than us when it comes to getting to actually mod their posts. Okay, fine, it leaked. It is what it is. I said it. I'm not afraid of it. So. With that, one can easily see that there is a bit of a build-up here for launch, or for the beta. There's obviously more to come. There's going to be major announcements when the beta actually launches. They have a 30-minute dev stream prior to the beta launching that will be on the official Play New World Twitch channel.
Excited for that.
I'm assuming that it will be continuing to talk about the variety of different Twitch streamers that they've paid to bring in some cases, and that are going to be competing for the the Reddit mod powers are getting to my head. Like, I'm clearly spending too much time in the janitor room. So with that, we know that they're going to announce something. Then we don't know what that is. But theoretically, they're going to announce something in that 30-minute window. Like, I'm really looking forward to it. Then we've got the beta, and the beta runs all the way up until August 2nd. But then we have this gap. Like, that's a big gap. And I've been saying this for a while, and people will call me call me crazy and whatever, but like, I fundamentally think that gap is going to get filled with an open beta, because I think the closed beta is going to go so well that they go, you know what, let's launch an open beta, invite everybody in, let's let everybody try the game before it comes out, and build a massive, truly massive amount of hype, and then launch the game on that hype with a massive amount of pre-orders, and be good to go. That's what I think is going to happen. Will it happen? We will see. But yeah. So, what else do we got? As the peanut gallery falls silent. Off topic, what software are you using for the timeline? Time.graphics. It's a really cool program. I've been using it. I'm going to claim this as my stream with them to gain additional premium time. You can get, I think, a few events on here without going premium. But like, if you like their stuff, you get a couple of days of premium, and that allows you to build whatever you need for the couple of days. So, it doesn't like cut it back afterwards either. But now that I've mentioned them live on stream, and showcased them in, actually at this point, 2 different streams, I should hit them up for a year free of their services. Just because I remembered reading through and I was like, what crap do I gotta do to get 2 days of freaking premium on here? I think that's why our YouTube channel follows them. Yeah. Mostly because I was too lazy to switch to my own YouTube channel. And
as it goes.
Yeah. But yeah. What else do we have?
There's other things out there. I guess talk about skills or things people are wanting to do. I know I'm gonna be logging a lot.
Oh yeah. Some of the best things to do is like if you're, the work from home revolution has begun. So as somebody who works from home quite a bit, if idle hands are idle hands, if you're in a meeting that you don't actually have to be in, for anybody who has that kind of experience and has that kind of role in a company or an agency or anything like that like you're in meetings to be physically present, like the work from home revolution is so nice for this. Like, not gonna lie, because like you can like idle hands it and be like, I'm just gonna go slash trees and hit rocks and do nothing of any consequence that I can definitely walk away from like any moment's notice and takes no brain power. Like that's totally something people can get away with. And, I'm not advising dereliction of duty at all. What I am saying is that like, I've seen people play on their phones at work, so you name it, it happens.
There was a over here in the UK at least, there was a very, very minor news article or news thing. I think it was on a fairly slow news day where an MP got caught playing I think it was Bejeweled while like in the chamber.
Hey, at least he didn't get caught pantsless.
That's very true.
One of the Canadian Parliament members or something got caught pantsless multiple times.
That's the new trick for working from home. Like, shirt sales going through the roof, pants sales dropped off. Just saying, there's a correlation there. If I don't have to get up, you're not going to ever notice. And if I do get up, I can close the cover on my camera, or I can turn off the camera in the software and be like, oh yeah, you totally don't know that I'm turning my camera off because I'm standing up and not wearing pants. Like,
So Jay, to answer your question, I would take off twice the time at launch compared to taking time off of beta. If you're looking at between the two, I would definitely wait until launch to take off the double amount of time.
Yes, I've got Tuesday through Friday off. I took Tuesday through Friday off. That said, for launch, I'll probably take the full week. Just to are you saying is A's saying he's not wearing pants right now?
He's never wearing pants.
We'll
if
find
if
out,
you
won't
see
we?
A's on camera, assume he's not wearing pants.
I mean, I could be. I might not be.
It's Schrodinger
We'll
cat.
never
You don't
know.
know till you don't know till he stands up.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
both wearing and not wearing pants.
Yes. That is forever going to be the mystery that we will only find out in the hot tub stream.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Garnering more and more interest to what the hot tub stream and OnlyFans account.
Yeah, you keep talking about these A's, and people are gonna start holding you accountable.
I'm just saying, like, if people are interested, there's content to be made. Like, didn't what was it? Linus Tech Tips like jokingly started a OnlyFans and became one of like the top supported OnlyFans accounts.
Was it like there was the grayed out image that a whole bunch of people paid for, right? And it wasn't like a whole bunch of people paid for it at the same time. It was like one person paid for it, and the image was just basically just text saying, "Why would you buy this?" And they went and they posted it on the LTT forums about it, but people still went and bought it again and again and again.
Like, it's a wonderful, wonderful April Fool's joke for them, because like it was also a freaking payday, but like as a company they also had to figure out like the finances behind that, because like went from like this
they
not
made
serious thing to like shit, like we're actually in it now.
Yeah, it was meant to be not serious, and then they're suddenly like, okay, right, we actually genuinely do have to pay tax on this because otherwise this might actually be pretty bad.
Oh god. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot to fear because my laptop is nowhere near capable of running a game and a stream at the same time. That laptop has seen some shit. Like, it's been through some major disasters, and when I say major disasters, I actually mean disasters. It was in Harvey, Texas. It went through flooding in multiple different places. It went through Puerto Rico post hurricane there as well, and just a ton of other and it's going on like 8 years old. Like, poor thing's on its last legs. Rip laptop. I never use it either, because like, why? And like people when I say that, like, people are like, what do you mean? Like, why would you not use the great laptop that is so old? Did it get to see Katrina? No, it didn't. It got to see aftermath of Hurricane Sandy a few years after the fact. It went to when I worked on one of the disasters out there. But I wasn't working disasters back when Katrina hit. I'm very much a post Katrina edition. But yeah. Oh, somebody apparently pinged me. That's the appropriate response in public chat on the Discord. Yes. No, I agree. Nobody wants to see this on a hot tub stream. Like, Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I would need a multiple number of drinks before I would watching or partaking in one of those streams.
Listen, stone cold sober, this 6 foot, 350 pound man will get into Speedo if it gets the views.
Hey, if I knew that we were gonna get 60,000 people to watch our stream live, I'd bust out the Speedo. Like, clearly at that point things are going well enough to risk it.
Jay, you got the right question there.
You're stuck with us for a month, buddy. Hate to tell you.
We jest. That said, if we're ever streaming to 60,000 people, I gotta be really careful about what I say because this will come back and bite me. I'm not gonna finish that sentence.
Finish it.
That's gonna nope. Because otherwise I'm gonna be tied to it. Like,
someone's gonna clip,
you never know what's gonna
whatever
happen.
you're saying.
Yeah. They're gonna clip it. They're gonna save it. And like 4, 5, 6, 10 years from now, we're gonna be streaming to 60,000 people, and I'm gonna be sitting here going, "Oh yeah, this is great." And somebody's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, remember when you almost said you would stream from a hot tub, in a Speedo?" Yeah. No. We're not setting that up.
It'll be the guess what, dude? Like, get out the hot pants. Like, get out the Speedo. Like, you're gonna be doing this.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just claim fake news. Fake news didn't happen. Yep. It's not a thing. Can confirm. We're gonna throw on something other than the timeline because, yeah. Yeah, there are so many things that like I'm just pumped for this launch. Like shifting away from hot tubs and back to New World.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I think we've beat that horse to death. Fun, like this game is gonna be awesome. Like earlier, the question was asked, like, what really is gonna what should people expect 5 months down the road after launch? I think we're going to see new content on a relatively regular basis. I think that we're going to see what a 200-man team can do for developing a game over a long amount of time. They've clearly got a long-term plan ready to go for like where this game is going, where the lore is going, where new opportunities and new areas of the map could go. They've got a good idea of what people want for mechanics. Recently with the Sir Medieval stream, they hinted at again, looking at mounts, but wanting to make like an actual robust system instead of just shoehorning them in.
Wait, did they do an interview with Sir Medieval?
They did, not a live one, but they allowed him to take notes during the interview and.
Oh, right. Sorry about that.
I feel like that would have been a very different interview had that have been live. Would have been interesting to get the inflections that people would have used on something like that. I hate the skinny cam. The skinny cam is killing me, man. When you just scoot over,
So I think one thing that needs to be talked about though is that even though Amazon, this giant, going to take over the world company, is putting out this game, there's still going to be problems day one. There are still going to be server problems. There's going to be bugs. Everything's there's going to be stuff that breaks, and that's okay. Now, 6 months from now, I'm having the same problems. Yeah, that's a different story. But I think everyone needs to go into this realizing
is it going to have problems though?
I mean, every game has problems.
It'll probably have some problems, but I don't think it's gonna have as many server problems as people think it's gonna have.
I think there'll be less.
Unlike most games, it would be kind of at this point, it would be similar to Rust announcing they're going from beta to live. Is it? because I mean, sure, like there's obviously still bugs in the game and all of that. Like there's gonna be, but I really think that in terms of like the servers, I actually think that that's where they really stand the best chance. And like if you think back to the preview, other than the first like 5 minutes when everybody was having trouble logging in, which happens when you get 30,000 people hitting your login server, there wasn't really any problem. At least I can can other people remember any problems with the beta?
I had a problem trying to get in recently during our last playthrough, and it was the server just wouldn't let me log in. It went on for a while. Now it was caught very quickly and fixed very quickly. Within like 2 hours of me having this problem, it was suddenly fixed and I was able to get out and play. But there was an initial problem for me.
Yeah, like I think that out of everything, like that's the one thing that they're really gonna do well, though.
If they're gonna do well, especially well at something, I would assume it's that. Like they have good servers. That's basically the point I'm saying. But
I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I mean, if I'm completely wrong and there are no problems getting into this day one, that's going to be freaking awesome. I'm going to be so thrilled. But I'm going in with my expectations of every other game that I've ever played.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be like a Last Oasis style, like launch, then absolute fuck up, then like, oh shit, we need to like take this whole thing down for a week, work on it, and then relaunch like a week later. Like I don't think it's going to be that, but like, touch wood.
And then the game completely die in less than a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a rough time for that company. Like,
I mean, it had a cool premise. Like it did have a cool premise, and it did have a cool kind of way of keeping people moving, sort of thing. Like, it was essentially like a, well, firstly, it basically took like a sort of a, in a strange way, Wild Wild West, with the whole walking kind of, with the mechanical walking kind of things, and then like smashed it into the like fire planet from what the fuck is it called? The that sci-fi film with
Yep, that one. Right now. That one.
Yeah,
totally that one.
Fuck
that one sci-fi film from
that one sci-fi
that
film.
one time. It had those people in it. I narrowed it down. Like
I know what I mean. It's just that like over here in the future, it's fucking 2:30 in the morning. I don't know how you act and react at 2:30 in the morning, because you never ever see 2:30 in the morning.
I'm dead at 2:30 in the morning.
Exactly. So cut the shit, right?
So 24-hour beta launch stream.
I don't know about 24 hours, but we'll probably be on for most of it. Like,
yes, Mac is our resident time traveler
yes.
in the group.
McLeod here is in tomorrow.
So he refuses to tell us like any lottery numbers or anything. He's kind of an ass with that one.
Like we have multiple hours in which he could tell us how things are in the future, and we never get any useful information. Like
I don't want to spoil your disappointment. That's why. If I'd have seen 2020 coming to warn you guys.
Oh my god. Well, see, that's the thing. We only have a couple hours. We wouldn't see the really big stuff like that, because that builds over time. It would be the little stuff like lottery numbers that we could get, just a few hours ahead of time. So
Yeah, we need. Mac's probably a variant. We need to burn him. If you haven't watched Loki, you wouldn't understand.
I haven't seen the last 2 episodes.
Watch them; they're so good.
So my old roommate and I normally watch them together, and he actually got deployed down to go work the Florida condo collapse.
Oh shit!
So like, been waiting for him to get back. I'm also not a huge fan of releasing shows like 1 episode at a time. Like, what is this? 2010? Like, you know.
Well, they got to get that. They got to get that 2-month subscription, man. They can't let you have it all in 1 month.
True. But then they should have just done what like every other company should have also done, and just stayed with Netflix and let Netflix just pay them money for their content, and made everybody else's lives easier. You know, instead of making us pay for like 6 streaming services. Uh, 1050 Ti, a i3 10100, and 16 gigs of RAM. That is actually a good question if that will run.
So the film that I was trying to think of was Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh, good movie. Great movie.
Because they have this, they have a part of the scene in that film where there's this planet which on the dark side is okay, but on the light side, basically everything fucking turns to fire. And there's this great sort of like scene where they're basically like running on the surface of this planet, like trying to escape this, this essentially a fucking wall of fire. And that's when I heard about Last Oasis, I literally thought of that. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of like, someone saw that aspect of or that scene from Chronicles Riddick and was like, yeah, we need to put this in the game. This would be a cool mechanic.
Yeah, so let's see. Let's run the numbers for you. Oh, freaking ad. What's the use of having an ad blocker if every website can detect that you're running an ad blocker?
You need a better ad blocker,
right?
Like, we've detected you're using an ad blocker. Yeah, no shit. Well, you need to turn it off to go to our site. There's a reason I had it on to begin with. Like, I don't want your shitty ads.
The worst is when like they bombard you with so many ads and then they break up what you're trying to find with like,
you can't actually read the site.
two sentences and then a massive ad and then another 2 sentences and a massive ad.
And as you scroll, it moves and breaks the text in different spots.
Yeah, and it's just like, fucking Jesus, do you understand how caustic like that is from a like reader's standpoint? It's just horrible.
All right, 1050 Ti. Compared to
I have a 1060, so and it runs.
Compared to the
hardware and
specs,
books.
670 is the minimum spec.
The Hardware and Box recently did like a video basically saying like what's the most worthwhile graphics card to buy in 2021, and it turned out to be a 1070.
The 670 is so low that it does not register on the current GPU benchmark hierarchy on the website that I'm using. So yours does, so your GPU should be powerful enough. And you're using an i3 10100. Not a high-end CPU. It is on the chart. All right. 10100. And we need to compare that against minimum spec i5 2400K. So let's go. Wow, is it seriously not the list?
So low it doesn't show up.
Yeah.
Because if you're showing up, you're probably okay.
All
You
right.
might be on low,
All right.
like medium,
Here's-
low
here's the
settings,
deal.
but
You're gonna be able to run it because your CPU and your GPU show up on the benchmark hierarchies. They do not, however, the minimum specs of New World do not, however, show up on the like. This goes back to like 2013 equipment, so like you can run this on a toaster, and yeah.
Like, I think there's people's fridges who have like past minimum specs
Yeah.
these days.
Yeah, you on low graphics, you should be able to run this on your refrigerator, provided it has enough memory and it has a dedicated GPU. Yes, we just figured that out live on air. You're welcome. So one of the other big questions that keeps coming up is there going to be controller support for the game? There is going to be accessibility device support to the game. However, McLeod here was able to get an Xbox controller?
PlayStation controller.
PlayStation controller. Okay, PlayStation controller. He was able to get that to work
Even
with the
better.
game. It was a little bit odd when you were trying to like split stacks of stuff, and like there were parts that were just not really doable with without a keyboard. But all of the keys are rebindable and all of that. It was really just like the scrolling and stuff like that you have to do in some cases that really wasn't working well with the keypad. So this actually adds in another question. In terms of gamepad, ability, you've got the new Steam device that is supposedly going to be able to play any PC game. And it's it basically direct competition for the Nintendo Switch. Similar size, a little bit more, hardware to back it up. It's a little bit bigger, but it's a mobile gaming device for PC gaming. So I think that's potentially your mobile New World if you've also got a hotspot. Take that on the train with you. I know there's all of me and probably no one else who uses a train to get to and from work, but is what it is.
No, but some of us are playing off hotspots right now, so
Soon they'll have internet to your place. So soon.
So soon, just months away. So I live in a very rural area, and I'm going from literally like a Verizon hotspot to gigabyte internet within just a couple of months, and it is going to be one of the most glorious things in the world.
See, that just sounds like I've got gigabit internet, so like there's a part of me that just dies inside when I have to switch to my hotspot for anything. Because it's just so slow. Like
great.
before, as this show was starting, I downloaded like four 4 3 terabyte or 3 not terabyte gigabyte videos off of YouTube in 4K. Yeah.
That's nice. I'm going to try to download 13 gigs overnight, and hopefully it's done in the morning.
Yeah, 13 gigs. I'm done in a couple minutes. Like when the New World beta comes out, it will be installed on my computer. Probably before yours finishes the first
Gig.
and if that.
Oh, so
Half a
I'm gonna
gig.
be at work. I'm gonna remote into my computer the second I'm able to start downloading, and then I'm gonna start downloading, and then hopefully play it when I get home.
Oh god, that just that sounds so rough. Like I'm hoping that for your sake they allow you to a preload. I think they're gonna allow a preload. They should.
I
allow
think
a preload.
they said. I thought they said they were allowed. They did for a preview, so I'm assuming they will again. I thought I saw someone that it was like a day or two before.
Let me check the beta post. Like I feel like they're no, it's only got one mention of the word load on here. So unfortunately they haven't answered that question.
I mean, I hope at least the night before. Like if they let me preload it on the 19th, I'll be fine. I'll be able to get home and I'll be able to play it right away. It'll be great. But if not, I may be able to play with you guys on the on the 20th.
I should be good. I have gigabit internet, but I have a switch that limits my thing to 100 megs because I am a poor university student that lives with a bunch of people. For reference, so I have 100 megs. So I might go just move my PC to my router and just plug straight into the back of it, so I have gigabit.
So I've literally had to, like, if I've had to download something on my computer, I'll strip everything off of it. I'll take my portable monitor and my PC and I'll go to my in-laws' house an hour away because they have 200 up down, and I'll just go there and be like, hey, I'm just gonna steal your internet for an hour. Okay, bye.
What you do in this day and age for internet.
Listen, I blame Spectrum. Their website told me that I could get internet at this house. When it turns out
the
I
battle
cannot.
to a tournament in an all-new PvPvE mode, Outpost Rush.
Really old.
Jump in solo,
Is that one of the really old?
or with up to 5 of your
IGN
friends in a coordinated 20 versus 20 battle. Teams must coordinate and balance their time upgrading outposts, gathering resources.
Here we go. Sorry. Just invest in a Ninth Legion house next to the East Coast Circle. Hey, just saying, if we had some sort of angel benefactor that wanted to buy a house for a whole bunch of people and pay for us to all
New World
live
has
there,
5
I'd be
progression
willing to-
systems that
okay
all
with
work
that.
together.
Every action that you
So
take
I'd
in
be
the world
down.
has a reward to it.
The most basic form of player progression
But I'd
is
be
leveling your
down.
character.
So there's that.
Apologies for the massive massive volume issue on the video there. I was not anticipating that video to have. Oh god.
I'm glad I
just
have
saw
the
the volume
stream
level
muted.
when it was fucking red on there, and I was like, oh no. Yeah. Whoopsies.
Oh, I'm just excited. I feel like it's going to be kind of. I want to get onto a medium pop server, hopefully with not many people who have played the game before. Not to abuse them, but just to feel a little bit of an advantage for how
I
to
want to
get.
dominate the server that we're on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
So
we
who actually
will
here
run
is
that
planning
shit.
on? Who's actually going to join us here? That's a big question. I
Uh,
want to know how many people we're actually going to have. If we really
I'm very curious about this as well. X up if you plan on joining us in New World.
I know there's a couple that aren't in the stream right now, but
It's probably like we're 2 hours and 20 minutes into this, so I know Alonja's joining us. There's the 4 of us.
We'll have
plus
Dark's
you know,
joining us.
Yeah, we have like the 13.
Icky, I know
people
you're
that are
chilling in
already
chat. You're lurking in chat.
There's a whole bunch of people that are probably lurking in chat that just never turned it off and walked away.
I have a couple buddies from Discord that I think are gonna pop on. So
So okay, but A's and Cloud. I know what I'm about to ask you two are gonna be on my side with. We're gonna have Eve type interviews and protocols for getting new members into the group, though, right? Like strict interviews, background checks, like credit checks, like we're doing all that, right?
Yeah,
of
no.
course.
Oh god, that's been so like. That's one of the things that I hated about Eve. Like, it's supposed to be this like multiplayer, like, you know, let's go build large groups, and then like you would go to like join a group and they'd be like, yeah, we're gonna need to know like exactly what you do, how much money you have, like, you know, your API information so we can track you at any point in the game, and you know, read all of your mails, and you know, like you've got 5 people that review your application just to, you know, just to make an interview, you know, let alone, you know, anything else. What server are you guys going to set up? I'll join with my company for some healthy competition. We haven't actually picked a server. We know we're going on US East, but we haven't picked a server because there's some groups that we're trying to play with, some groups that we're like kind of trying to avoid. Like we're trying to avoid like super heavy like alpha player servers. Mainly because like being able, you know, let's be real, being able to pub stomp people who haven't played, you know, 3,000 hours is going to be, you know,
enjoyable,
a worthwhile payoff of the investment in that time.
on it, we know where all the we may know where all these resources are and whatnot, so we won't have to deal with the hidden oil patches and stuff like that.
I feel like it'd be really hard to like immediately start a beef between Studio Loot, Pirate Gaming, and us, because like we chat, like not all the time, but like, you know, Redbird and I like literally were talking earlier today. You know, Dene is pretty frequently in the stream, and like we, you know, I'm pretty frequently in their stream whether I'm chatting or not. Like, you know. It really, like, one of the cool things about the community of streamers that have existed here for a while, like, going back to that, like, what's going to happen 5 months after launch, what's going to happen 2 weeks after launch is you're going to have some of these big name streamers disappear because it's lost the limelight, they're not getting paid to do it, their, you know, communities are used to seeing something else, you know. But what you are going to see is you're going to see your tried and true Studio Loot, Pirate Gaming, with you know, New World Wednesdays with Pirate Gaming, and New World to Go with Studio Loot. Like, simply put, there's a ton of good content that's been coming out for a really long time. These are your consistent people, and those are going to be the ones that are going to rise to the top. Because, you know, we know stuff, you know, like there's a reason that people listen to us. There's a reason that, you know, within the, you know, New World community, like we're known commodities. We're not like, you know, random average Joes. Like, people know who we are, which is kind of cool. Like, you know, and it's more than just, you know, I can tell you that's not from being the Studio Pirate Legion Alliance. As long as we don't I don't know where I was going with that. It'd be cool if we were all in the same faction, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna end up in different factions. Cause
Next studio, let's go Marauders, if I remember correctly.
we're going Covenant. So, if we have to fight him, we will.
We will burn all the heretics. The church will rise.
Yes. Team Covenant all the way.
I just like the yellow color more than the other ones.
It really is a pretty cool color. Like,
Granted, I do like the purple because.
Studio Lead's going Syndicate. All right.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah, we're still going Covenant. So.
I'd either go probably Covenant or Syndicate. So.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like what else. There's been like. Here's the thing. Like, you can tell like who's here for the hype, and who's here for like the longevity. We've been here for God knows how long at this point. Like, we like as a channel, we've existed for I think we're the longest running talk show. We don't have the most episodes. We have the longest running show though, because we started first. And like, I'm here for the hat. Yeah.
I have one of those.
Yep. Crown also has one of these. He's one of the few. Direct shipped from Amazon too. Actually, it had problems because
Canada.
They couldn't ship it because initially I tried to use this gamer tag as a way to mail it to them.
Yeah, who knew Borders did like actual names?
Yeah, we didn't think that one through, did we?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I still want one of the hoodies. Amazon.ca doesn't actually have them on it.
It doesn't? Oof.
I don't think so. I couldn't find them when I went looking for it.
Yeah, that's right.
And if I'm wrong, please someone send me a link.
Well, you can
Because
always
God
check
knows
the
I
link
need-
below the stream. Given that goes to the US one though. So
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, we need to set out like an international.
I really need to
links.
figure out how that thing works. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be really pissed if I've got to apply for Amazon affiliate in every fucking country across the planet.
No, you don't. Like, there's like an international affiliates that you can kind of sign up to.
Yeah.
And then basically the links become international links that work in all of them.
See, that's what we need. That's how that should work. That's how it should work off the first one. No, they're gonna make it complicated. We made it out of our 90-day test window with Amazon affiliate, and officially are Amazon affiliates full time. I say full time's not the right word there. We're Amazon affiliates. It's definitely not an income that you could live full time off of.
No.
Nor is this stream, which is why we infinitely are thankful for all of our Patreons, followers, subscribers, and etc. And
your actual
just our
jobs.
viewers. What's that?
And your actual jobs.
Yes, and our actual jobs, because God knows, like, the stream right now is paying its own bills. Like, for instance, like the stream makes enough for us to get Adobe Suite, Creative Suite, per month. Which, for those that don't know, that is also a subscription service, so it literally is paying the subscription for that. So, when we say the stream is like neutral, paying for itself, that's what we mean. It's not paying for itself in terms of like actually making us like money.
But it helps us. It helps us produce like content and produce things for the stream. So
yes, all of these fancy elements in the background are all things that are made possible by that Adobe Suite, and
like our intro, our entire intro is like made with the Adobe Suite.
Yes, our whole intro video that we will play on our outro as well is something that fundamentally is made by that. So,
Movie Maker?
oh, dude,
No,
they
Good
ruined
God, no.
Windows Movie Maker.
They
Like,
did,
don't
I got
don't
so-
get
I'm
me.
so-
Oh my god.
Oh,
I,
same
that
position.
was
Oh,
used
that
it
was
all
the
the time.
that was the first program that I used to actually cut video with. Like my first
And it-
video on YouTube was actually made with Microsoft.
It wasn't
Maker.
that bad. I never found a
was
problem with it. It wasn't that bad.
wonderful.
For like, yes, it didn't have all the fancy features, but if you just needed to cut and dry video,
Yeah.
like,
quick clip stuff down, added in videos, added in new sections, and we're able to transition between things. Like, it was actually good. And then
it
you've
had
got,
this
new crap that's just awful.
Add a simple horizontal wipe, right? For a scene transition. That was like perfect, like Star Wars style, like horizontal transition. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I loved it.
yeah.
it is.
It really is unfortunate. One program that has never let down though is Microsoft Excel.
The moment that
I say with the spreadsheet wizard shirt on.
the moment I learned, it's kind of fun. The moment I learned that there was an Easter egg inside of Microsoft Excel that like you could play, like it literally launches a game that you could play, like, oh
Really?
yeah.
Didn't know that.
So Microsoft
You have to
Excel
scroll down.
Has been spoofed in a number of different ways for different things. There was a hidden work internet browser that looked like Microsoft Excel that allowed you to surf Reddit while your computer fundamentally looked like you were looking at a spreadsheet. So you could, cloak and dagger watch, or not watch, but like, scroll through Reddit and chat with people. Things you learn, guys. I'm not saying I used it. I'm saying it existed. For anybody considering ideas.
Most places I worked, I can just sit on my phone on Reddit anyways. No one cares.
I remember, I used to work for a private yacht harbor in Wisconsin, and like most of the weekdays, you did nothing. Like, you just sat on your phone and hoped that like you remembered your charger, because it was just incredibly boring. And then the weekends, you'd actually do stuff. And if you didn't do stuff when you were supposed to do stuff, then $1 million stuff got broken. And that was always fun. But so much Reddit. Reddit provides.
Many Reddit, much WoW.
Yes. Alright, so we've been going 2.5 hours. I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired. I'm sure it's late for McLeod. I've been talking crazily long. And
Listen, you're talking to an old man who wakes up at 4 a.m. every day. I go to bed at 8 o'clock. So
I don't
it
think
is,
my clock
it is getting very
shows
late.
that time on the clock. I haven't been awake for that time. I don't know what you're talking about. No, whenever I've got to work nights for work, which happens on occasion, I see that time and I die inside, because that also means that I've got 4 hours left on my shift.
Night shifts are fun. Involves a lot of RuneScape, mobile RuneScape.
Yeah. See, my job, I can't do anything but work while I'm at work, but especially if I'm working nights. Although when I say nothing but work, I mean like I'm just chatting with people. But yeah. That said, we're gonna call it here for anybody that wants to join the discussion between the four of us and add to that, we're going to move to the public chat immediately following the show. You guys are welcome to join us and have kind of a glorious Friday night. And I say this as, obviously I need to undig my OBS client out of things. But, fundamentally, as I always say, we wouldn't do this without people watching. Like, fundamentally, you guys are why we're here. Being able to stream to more than nobody is a privilege. We take it seriously. We appreciate being in the top 1% of Twitch, by streaming to more than 5 people, and with that, we're going to take that opportunity to make sure that people get the best information they can get, and we'll continue to move forward as we go, and till then, we will see you guys in the new world. Thanks for the follow.